Hey, Will Rich here. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. So, I have to apologize actually because I've been covering Rigetti stock in our live sessions in the morning at Market Open inside of Stockmate, which is our private community. And sometimes I forget that I got to go and make another video on YouTube. And I always will do that for you guys. If we're covering in Stockmate, I mostly cover it outside. But if you want that live element each day at Market Open, it's that second link down below. So, Rigetti stock, let's take a look at it. The Rigetti spaghetti. That's what we're eating right now. So we traded Rigetti stock early morning. We ended up selling right here at this SMA. We sold it. I think we might have sold it for a loss, but overall, our portfolio was up about 1.09% on the day. Rigetti is kind of deviating from the pattern that we saw on the uptrend. You can see it's kind of dragging itself out. The reason that I'm not worried about Rigetti stock just yet and why I think there's going to be more potential is because of this previous resistance. Oftentimes, what happens is when we have this previous resistance get established, it's going to act as a support if we're seeing bullish upward momentum. And you can see that time and time again. If we go back here to when Rigetti first started trending, it was at $1.37. So we could go ahead and let's just pull up a green chart. You can see it really on the micro level as we started to trend that previous resistance act as support. And then you can see kind of a previous resistance here start to act as a support right there. Previous resistance acting as support. So it's the reason that we're so repetitive about this is because, well, there's three things we look at when we analyze the stock. There's three things that give us indication of whether something's a good deal. And it goes through number one, market, number two, analysis, and then number three, the profit, the plan. So I call this the map strategy. And when we're looking at the technicals, which is this side, it's just this repetitive movement that if it's bullish, a lot of times it's going to bounce at this previous resistance. And so recently, I need to probably clean this up a little bit. Okay. Rigetti stock is at this previous resistance right now. So if we're going to see it continue this upwards momentum, it most likely is going to hold this level and continue up. Now we're going to see what happens on the technical side. Right now, it just dropped below that EMA, SMA, so a little bit near-term bullish. We're expecting near-term volatility, but again, the long-term and the base fundamentals for Rigetti are something that get really interesting about the long-term that we can go into right now. So again, let's see if it holds the level. If it does, most likely we'll be looking to buy on this swing as it continues up. Today, got a little spooked. So we'll see that it did sell off 2%. Not too bad as opposed to what we've seen it sell off in one day or gain in one day. It's quite volatile. We'll see if it holds that level and continues this trend upwards. All right, so when it comes to Rigetti, there's two ways we look at in the market. So that analysis that we talked about, the map framework, I got something good for you guys. How many of you guys can I share with you my new two-step framework for the market strategy? This is based on analysis that Sam Altman performs for his couple hundred different ventures that he has. So he has a founder of OpenAI, but he also has different companies that he invests in, and he has his own venture capital fund. And one of the things that he always looks for when identifying if he should invest in a company, I feel like I'm a robot, identifying if he should invest in a company, is he looks at the market, and that market is it growing, but also, this is the other piece, that's number one, is it growing? What's the profits look like? What's the projected income? But number two is it being used? And that's something you have to indicate. It's like the NFT market. A lot of people, wow, NFTs are growing so great. But if they would have looked at the utility of the NFTs, they would have said, wow, not a lot of use that's happening right now. In the future, maybe we see more of it. But that's why the NFT market collapsed, because a lot of usage wasn't there. So what's going to be really important is in this upcoming earnings with Rigetti stock. because when we go to Rigetti, we can see that their quantum computers are accessible through the cloud on AWS, as well as some other companies like IONQ, which we covered earlier today. And also, if you go to Microsoft or to Google, you could see that these quantum computing companies are accessible to tap into. So if I didn't cover that, Rigetti stock, if you're just tuning in, you haven't had any of the Rigetti spaghetti. Rigetti is a quantum computing company. So are all the companies on the StockMate watch list here. You got D-Wave, QBTS, IONQ. We cover the space in depth, and I went to CES to actually meet the CEOs and the executives and everyone else. And so the question is, they have these entryways where they could be getting used, whether it's at Microsoft or whether it's at AWS. Are they actually getting used? And that's the question that we're going to have to see get answered in the upcoming earnings calls. I would like to see a report from Rigetti in their new earnings, how much usage they're actually seeing through AWS. Is it a lot? Is it a little? Can we look forward to seeing that number grow? And also, the revenue is supposed to surprise in the quantum computing space. Let's see if it does. Rigetti's financials in their next earnings are going to be interesting. But again, there's three things we look at. So we did market. The usability is there. The quantum computing space, which is around $100 billion, is expected to grow to between $3 and $5 trillion in the coming years. So I learned that at CES, got that number directly from IBM, Microsoft, and others that said that they're expecting up to $5 trillion opportunities with quantum computers. So put that into perspective. They're at 100 billion right now. They're looking at trillions of dollar potential. Okay. So also you have this bill. It's a smaller, just 3 billion, basically quantum initiative bill that's on, basically it hasn't been passed yet, but we'll see if that bill passes. Now, here's the thing with Rigetti on the analysis side of the market is, are they actually getting used in those places? And if they are, we're going to see a lot of potential, a lot of growth. When we get into Rigetti's financials, that's what we're going to do. Rigetti's financials. Sometimes we get going and I get excited and then we deviate a little bit. And I'd love to do an interview. I'm planning a trip here very soon to go to San Francisco to actually get some insider looks at some of these companies. This company's in Berkeley. And I think we're booking that here in the near term. So look out for that video. But when we see Rigetti computing year over year, revenue was down about 23%. Their net income went up 33%, but still down negative 14 million. And when we look at these numbers, they do look like they're burning through some cash. Their revenue, they've missed it. Their EPS, they've missed it. But we've also heard that they have, I believe it's between 5 and 8 years of runway, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what the CEO said. And then that's without including, for example, that quantum initiative that we just went over. If that bill passes, most likely will go to Rigetti, probably IONQ, and some others. So we'll be looking at that. Now, the last step that we look at is the plan. And what does this look like in the near term? Well, guys, it's really hard to say with this current spot. It seems like it's at the support. It's definitely starting to trend upwards or recover after selling off here when Jensen made those comments. So we're seeing it start to recover. It's kind of validating here. Right now, after today's move, the RSI and the MACD look over. So, oh, that's what that noise was. I got my cat. He's eating next to my desk, and I was like, what is that noise? Is that my headphones? What is that? And just chomping down. All right, Nala. She eats. It's so funny. Sometimes she eats very quiet, and then sometimes she eats super loud. It's hilarious. this trend right here is at a critical point between support right here on this previous resistance and what is this rising trend line. If the RSI and the MACD are looking oversold, which indicates more of a buy, you could see it started to recover a little bit after hours here today, and it looks like it might be gaining a little bit of momentum. Nevertheless, what we're looking for is confirmation. I want to see it break above this EMA, above this SMA, and in the near term, that'll indicate more of a buy, potentially up to higher highs. Again, it was at $1 just a couple weeks ago. Alexa, stop. Man, everybody's making noise. My gosh. Um, and from $2 to $21 a share, really, guys, that was just in a matter of a month and a half, or 2 months in this case. So, or yeah, no, a month and 10 days, it surged 1,000%. And so now, in order to get back to higher highs, if we see it get back to higher highs, that would be a 42% increase just to the previous high. The next level, if it can break up here, that it's going to have to cross above is that $16 price point. And that's what we'll try to ride the swing of if we get confirmation that it's not going to sink down and become bearish, because it is at this EMA. But if it confirms, starts to cross over, this support, and previous resistance zone, can clearly map that out, is about a 30% increase. So from that $12.40 range right now up to close to a $16 price point would be quite the trade to be able to take advantage of. We'll be looking for more indication of that buy at market open tomorrow. If you would like to be there, we cover Rigetti, we cover a lot of quantum computing, AI, and tech stocks, and we go live each day at market open. It's called Stockmate. It's that second link below. I would encourage you to check it out as our New Year's sale is expiring. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed. I enjoyed. And if I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and also comment down below. We have some great stocks we're adding to the watch list, but if you have some that are in the space tech, if you're in quantum or AI, share them and we'll take a look at them. Most cases, if they seem like they could be beneficial for the audience. So thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.